I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow that let you know to call your brother son. The story that just begun, the promise of what's to come. And I'ma remain a soldier till the war is won.
What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode?
Our children in the tempest, Lord, if this little old plant don't get more sun than it's been getting, it ain't never gonna see spring again.
What's the matter with you, Rude? You look right peaked. You aiming to iron all them things?
Leave some for me. I'll get to them this afternoon. Benny, honey. It's too drafty for you to be sitting around half dressed. Where's your robe?
In the laundry.
Here we have expert literary analysis, Professor Mohan.
What are your thoughts on the previous scene?
Well, the plant shown in the story is described to be a representation of the younger family because it endures through trouble. The fact that it doesn't receive light is a direct representation to how the younger family doesn't receive the money needed to live comfortably and live in the constant, troubled economic times. There's also an archetypal reference to how the family grows stronger as they experience the troubles of life together and learn from the experience just as the plant will continue to grow. As Mama takes care of the plant, it also shows how Mama takes care of the family and nurtures it to grow. The reader can also infer from the story how the plant can also be represented as Mama's dream to own her own garden and grow her own plants. In this case, she is limited to only growing one plant, which shows she still has hope for her dreams, which is fulfilled at the end of the play when they purchase the house with the extra space in the backyard. She mentions several times in the play how she wishes to own her own garden, and I quote, "Well, I always wanted me a garden, like I used to see sometimes at the back of the houses down home. This plant is as close as I ever got to having one." Quote, Act 1, Scene 1, page 1886.
Of course you're gonna be a doctor, honey, God willing.
God ain't got nothing to do with it.
Benita, that just wasn't necessary.
Well, neither is God. I get sick of hearing about God.
Benita,
I mean it. I'm just tired of hearing about God. Does he pay tuition?
you're about to get your fresh little Jocelyn.
That's just what she needs, alright.
Why? Why can't I say what I want like everyone else around here?
It don't sound nice for a young girl to say things like that. You wasn't brought up that way. Me and your father went to the trouble to get you and your brother to church every Sunday.
I don't understand. It's all a matter of ideas, and God is just one idea I don't accept. It's not important. I'm not going out and I'm not gonna go out and be immoral and commit crimes because I don't believe in God. I don't even think about it. It's just that I get tired of him getting credit for all the things the human race achieves through its own stubborn effort. There simply is no blasted God. There's only man, and it is he who makes miracles.
You repeat after me. In my mother's house, there's still a God. In my mother's house, there's still a God.
In my mother's house, there's still a God.
What do you think about Mama's religious values?
Well, in the previous scene, as seen in the play, what happens is Mama slaps Bethany for not believing in a God. This is significant because Mama has deep religious values, and in that scene itself, Mama shows how she believes that there is a God even when her children doesn't. This deep religious values that Mama exudes is also significant because throughout the whole play, Mama believes in her family and believes that there is a God that will help them across their difficulties. In regards to how Mama continues on with her deep religious values, she also tells Walter, who strongly believes in deep materialistic values, that they shouldn't focus on this and rather focus on family bonding. Her issues in regard to family bonding are also due to her deep religious values. Her religious values are significant throughout the whole entire play because from the start of the play, Mama talks to her grandchildren, specifically Travis, on how she loves him. In regards to this, Mama also focuses on the plant, which also represents the family. Every single symbol in the story ties into Mama's deep religious values. Mama believes that there is a God, and she will not allow anyone in the house to believe that there is a God. As long as Mama is leading the family, she wants her children to believe that there is a God. Mama ties in her characteristics of God and tries to make her family believe in God as well.
How can you talk so much about money?
Because it is life, Mama.
Oh, so now it's life. Money's life? I remember when freedom used to be life. Things have changed.
No, it always was money, Mama. We just didn't know about it.
No, something has changed. You something new, boy. In my time, we was worried about being lynched and getting to the north. Now here you and Benita come, talking to things we ain't never even thought about hardly, me and your daddy. You ain't satisfied or proud of nothing we've done. I mean, you had a home that we kept you out of trouble until you was grown. That you don't have a right to work on the back of nobody's streetcar. You my children. But how different we done became.
Mama, you just don't understand. Mama, you just don't understand.
Son, do you know that your wife is expecting another baby?
No. Ruth wouldn't do that.
When the world gets ugly enough, a woman will do anything for her family.
You don't know Ruth, Mama. If you think she would do that.
Now back to Joshua Bay, Cerritos High School AP Lit student.
What do you think of Mama's talk with Walter?
Mama talking with Walter shows her old-fashioned character juxtaposed to Walter's modern thinking. Her thoughts on materialistic things such as money is far less important to her than family. He is countered with Mama's criticism and how she plans to spend the money on a real house, which happens to be in a white neighborhood in Clybourne Park. The conflicts of the play includes what everyone wants to spend, the $10,000 insurance check given to Mama after her husband passes away. This causes a major conflict as all main characters give an insight of what they want to spend on the money and how it will benefit to the family. This can be seen in the story as Walter plans to invest the money into a liquor store business. Mama cares deeply for Walter as when they talked about his purpose for the insurance money. In that scene, Mama reveals her thoughts on how the family should be and shows her religious side when she talks about how money isn't happiness. She is appalled at how Walter is so desperate and wants money to provide and support his family, where he would even lose his honor. The reader can infer from the story that Walter and Mama have a relationship where Mama is unable to trust Walter's schemes in business as she believes opening a liquor store is considered unchristian, while Walter believes that Mama is only slowing down his dream of becoming successfully rich. To this, Walter becomes frustrated as his mother explains why he doesn't need to open the store and says how he's blessed with a good-looking boy. You got a job, nice wife, and fine boy. Walter replies, Mama, a job? I open and close car doors all day long. I drive a man around in his limousine and I say, yes sir, no sir, very good sir, shall I take the drive sir? Quote.
Mama, where you been all day?
My, them stairs is much longer than they used to be. Phew.
Mama, where have you been all day?
Where's Travis?
I let him go out earlier and he didn't come back yet. Ooh, is he gonna get that?
Mama,
Yes, son.
where'd you go this afternoon?
I went downtown to take care of some business.
What kind of business?
You know better than the folk. You know better than that. Question me like a child.
Mama, where the hell have you been?
Mama,
Mama, I nothing. You go to the bedroom and get yourself ready, boy.
but
Why don't you all never let the child explain himself?
Keep out of this, Lena. 1,000 times I've told you not to go off like that. Take off those glasses, boy.
Well, at least let me tell him something. I want him to be the first one to hear. Come here, Travis.
yes,
Travis. You know that money that we got in the mail this morning?
yes,
Do you know what your grandmama did with this?
I don't know.
He went and bought you a house.
Aw, damn it, Mama.
You glad about the house? It's gonna be yours when you become a man.
I can't wait to live in a house.
And give me some sugar. Now when you go pray tonight, Go thank God and your grandfather, because it was his money that paid for the house.
Now you go get out of here and get ready for your beat, boy.
Oh, mama, go.
Damn straight you're gonna get that ass beat.
Here we have Professor Sridhar from the Literary Department of UCLA.
What do you think was significant about the insurance money in the play?
So the insurance check in the play has a significant role as it alludes to the hopes and dreams of the younger family. Seeing as how the younger family didn't have that much money in the past because of living in destitute conditions, this amount of money is a lot to them. And it influences the main characters to envision what to do in the future, and it influences their dreams. So for example, Benita wants to use the money to pay for college tuition so that she can become a doctor. And Walter wants to use it to open up his liquor store with his buddy Willie. And Mama and Ruth want to buy a house for the family so that the family will live comfortably. And basically the check provides a way for these dreams to be met.
Thank you.
Oh, hello. Come on in.
Well, hello, Johnson.
Oh, that Mrs. Younger. You starting to poke out some?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Bless God.
Indeed, bless God. Anyways, have you guys heard about the newspaper? About the colored folks?
I didn't get the newspaper yet.
You guys need to check this out. It's about some colored folks that got bombed out of their white neighborhood.
That's so.
Yeah, it says so. You guys should be careful out there when you move into your new neighborhood.
We already thought about that when we bought the house.
Where's brother?
He's sleeping.
He's sleeping. Ooh, he sure needs his beauty rest, doesn't he? Good looking man like that. That's why there's probably another member of this family, huh? Oh, hello there, Benita.
Hello, Mrs. Johnson.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
This child got something to go.
The poor child on her way to the bathroom.
I thought with her going to college and all, she'd probably think she's all high and mighty. But then all this other colored folk around here.
There's plenty of that here.
Yeah. But Walter's job's pretty good too. You guys are in a good position.
Walter's job isn't good. My husband said that man's hands aren't made to drive a chauffeur anybody. They're made to turn the earth and make stuff.
Ooh, you youngers are a really proud bunch. I should probably get going. You can keep the newspaper. Remember to be careful out there.
Indeed.
Here's Professor Yi representing Yale's literary department.
Can you elaborate on Mrs. Johnson's appearance in the play?
Of course. Mrs. Johnson is introduced into the play as a sort of a reality check to the younger family. She comes into a scene with barbaric news about a neighbor family moving into the Clybourne Park. This introduces conflict in the play, which can be seen as she sort of feels jealous towards the younger family because they finally get to move out of the lower class residential apartments. She allows the readers to be reminded of the repercussions of moving into a white neighborhood, as it will instill and provoke white negative reactions toward the black family moving in. The racial discrimination clearly and explicitly states how the black family still won't be appreciated as well as a white family moving into Clybourne Park. Mrs. Johnson also feels jealousy towards the younger family and threatens or symbolizes a threatening of what will happen to the family. The news article presented that she shows is sort of a foreshadowing event of what will happen if they move into the Clybourne Park. Leaving the newspaper indicates Mrs. Johnson's true jealousy of the younger family.
Come in.
Hello, I'm looking for Mrs. Lena Younger.
Oh, I'm her son. I'm Walter Younger. How you doing, sir?
Hello, I'm Carl Linder.
What can I do for you?
I'm here on the matter of business. This is regarding your new house, 406 Kleinborn Street.
Let's hear.
Benita, why don't you say hi?
Hey, Mr. Linder.
Hello.
Alright, please have a seat.
Thank you.
What can I do for you?
I'm from the Clybourne Park Improvement Association, and I'm here to talk on behalf of your piece of property that was recently purchased by Mrs. Lena Younger. So, in regards to that, I am part of the New Neighbors Welcoming Committee, and I'm here to talk to you guys about this property.
But what do they even do?
You see, what we do is that we go house to houses and we give the lowdown on regards to the things that we do around here and the type of community we expect.
What do you mean?
What I mean is that our people are very hardworking. They're not fancy. They're hardworking, honest people that have nothing to live for except for little homes and dreams for what kind of community they will live in. Don't get me wrong. Racial prejudice is not part of this, but it's rather the opinion of the Clybourne Street people, which they want to have the community to be all white.
This right here is the welcoming committee.
Now, don't get me wrong. We were having a fine conversation till now.
So this is what you came marching down all the way here for?
No, I'm prepared to make a very generous offer. Please hear me out.
Go ahead, man.
What I'm prepared to offer for this family is more money than you even paid for the house.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now back to Mr. Sridhar from UCLA.
Do you think Mr. Linder plays a significant role in his first appearance?
Yes, he does. When Mr. Linder gets introduced in the play, we get the first impression that he's a very helpful character. So Mr. Linder, he comes to the Youngers' new household in Clybourne Park under the pretense that he is from the neighborhood welcome committee, which is the main reason why Walter Jr. welcomes him into the house and offers him refreshments. Even though Mr. Linder is a flat character, he is still able to express his concerns of having mixed races in the neighborhood politely to the Youngers. When Mr. Linder first approaches the Younger family, we can tell that he's surprised about how the Youngers act, as they act like normal white people. Since they offered him refreshments, Mr. Linder feels even more uncomfortable with his actions of telling the Youngers his true purpose, which is to try to convince him to move out of the Clybourne Park neighborhood. Even though his actions of suggesting the Youngers' house move out and offering them an incentive, even more money that Mama had bought the house for, Mr. Linder is still representing his welcome committee, so he feels justified in his purpose, as he is doing it for all people of the neighborhood. What makes Mr. Linder feel more uncomfortable is when he tries to explain his true purpose to the Youngers in front of the enraged family. It is at that point that Walter Jr. excuses himself from the premises. This doesn't stop Mr. Linder, however, as he comes to the house again to discuss whether the Younger family would accept the money or not. Mr. Linder also plays a significant role in the story, as he allows the main protagonist/antagonist, Walter Jr., to develop as a character.
Now for the closing remarks.
Here we have a student, Joshua Bay, in AP Lit, attending Cerritos High School.
Can you please explain the significance of Mama?
Well, from the start of the story, we can already tell that Mama loves Travis deeply. As one of the main central characters in this play, Mama's main decisions making for the well-being of her family is because of Travis. Mama is a static character whose main priority is her family over everything. This action is later proven when she makes the decisions to spend the insurance money on a new house, which would benefit the whole family rather than the individual younger family members. Being a highly religious and old-fashioned lady, Mama has expectations for her family, mainly Walter Younger, to strive and become a man. In this scene, Mama reveals her thoughts on how the family should be and shows her religious side when she talks about the money and how it doesn't bring happiness. Another example of how she displays her religious views is how she disagrees with Ruth on her actions to find an abortion for her baby. This is seen when Mama states, "We are people who give life and not destroy them." This is because old-fashioned people believed that abortion was taboo and they therefore made it illegal. Mama believed that any child should have any right to live, even though she knew the financial state of her family would not be enough to support another person. Instead, she pleads with Walter to take charge of his life and take care of the baby. However, she is saddened when Walter doesn't take charge of the situation and instead drinks with his friends and focuses on the liquor store that he strives to open. Throughout the story, Mama has a forgiving attitude towards the people in her life, and she tends to direct her actions according to her Christian faith.
Now back to Professor Eddie.
Do you have any closing remarks on Mr. Linder?
In Mr. Linder's second appearance in the younger family, he is first approached with questions about Walter Sr. and he is confused at what point Walter Jr. is trying to make. As Walter Jr. approaches his point as to how the youngers will not accept their money and will instead try to assimilate into the neighborhood, Mr. Linder is taken by surprise. Mr. Linder, in his second and final appearance in the play, also realizes that once the youngers' family have told him that they don't want to move, believes that they are actually decent people. It is at that point where Mr. Linder realizes that he cannot do anything else to convince the youngers to move. Mr. Linder's overall part in the story, even though his appearance is short, is significant in regards to another character's development.